Hello and welcome to another episode of Podcast, which I don't think has a name yet. I'm here with returning guest Michael. Hello and welcome. We've now moved to Riverside.
You have. Thank you very much.
Very excited by this program. I'm intrigued to see how the pipeline works after recording this.
This is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've been testing it out and I decided to do the premium trial yesterday.
See.
So I've picked up all the premium features and I've been messing with it. You can see that I've added theming to the call. I've admittedly I have to I'm using the web browser version of it. I've been thinking about trying to find if it has a desktop app. I know there's one for Apple, but I'm on Windows.
Oh, yeah. I've been using the app version.
Yeah, it seems like the app works well.
Yeah, I
What's your
think you're
experience with
right.
the app?
It's been pretty good, actually. I've used it once so far. I didn't have any troubles, so I definitely appreciated that. But I've only used it once, so I don't have much of a follow through as of yet.
Yeah, I've only used it, I guess, like 3 times. This will be the fourth. Right now is the
Let's
fourth
see.
time I'm really using Riverside. So.
That's good to hear. Yeah, because lately I've been using Substack to create Substack live conversations. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing lately. Yeah, I've been writing a
That's
bunch
what
of
you've been
videos.
working on?
Yeah, I've been creating live conversation videos, and a guy in the Skool community named Des Drecken, he invited me. I had talked about some roadblocks, and we had a nice conversation. And he told me to create 20 to 30 more videos to grow my visibility. So this is what I'm trying to do to
Yeah,
Substack.
that makes
I'm
sense.
trying to get I'm trying to get with more inspired readers to connect with my poetry and to say about my poetry books and things of that nature. So that's what I'm trying to do.
How's your experience been making content for Substack?
Pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's been really nice. I haven't been having any issues, and it takes a while for the clips to get ready to upload and get created. So I just wait for it to go through, and I just do other things, and then I get a
Okay.
notification when they're ready to go. And I've been getting some positive feedback from people, so I appreciate that very much.
Very nice. That sounds good. Very good. Yeah, I haven't been able to check out the one that you sent me because I've just been so busy. I haven't watched anything really in the last like week or so.
That's okay. You've been busy. I expect that. That's okay. Appointment?
Yeah. So, and we've been like evaluating. This is the end of quarter 1. We're going into quarter 2, and so I've been like evaluating, doing a reflection of the past and looking forward to the next month. Because last month was tracking and consistency, and this next month is looking like time management.
Yeah, that's important too. It's the details of action.
So,
Yeah.
right. And if I'm spending my time accurately, and if I'm just aware of how I'm using my time, a lot of other things will fall into place. I noticed.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, I agree with that. I had to deal with a lot of time management details when I was in college, so I knew how to manage my time effectively to ensure that I got my tests and quizzes and essays and exams on time. Sometimes they were open books, sometimes they were not. It just depends on the course. And I studied so much, and I did extremely well. So it was very important for me.
Yeah. What sort of systems do you use to manage your time to do that?
It's a good question. Basically, uh, I use Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access. Also use the index cards, and
So
that's
those were the
that's pretty much.
tools, but how did you use the tools as a system to manage your time?
That's a good question. Well, I dedicated so for I was a commuter student, so I always manage my time when it comes to going to the bus stop and going to the trains and stops and looking and checking, making sure that I'm on time for all my classes
Right.
and making sure I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, things of that nature. Because there are times when I went to school, I was on campus, and I would eat breakfast and lunch, or sometimes I'd eat at home and eat the breakfast, and then go to class, and those were important times because I always had to make sure that I was never late for class because I made sure to never be late because I was always early because this was important for me,
Right.
and I did that on purpose, and that made sure that process because I knew sometimes you can't always you can't always lean on the time frames when you're in the bus stop or you're in the train stops. So there are times when you have to wait for other people to get on to different places and stuff like that because there's always commuters. Lots of communities that I've experienced in Northern Virginia. I had to go through the flow, and I'm glad that I had a cell phone at the time, so that was important for me too.
Right. Yeah, I think two things there. One, the public transportation, and when I started using that, it really sort of forces you to be on someone else's schedule and like be able to
Absolutely, that's correct.
time and planning for that sort of thing. And then the other thing that you sort of were talking to and alluded to is that the stuff that we spend our time doing is what we care about. So it's like we care about school, so we're going to spend our time making sure we show up on time, doing all the work, doing all the things. And this is one of those pieces of advice I keep hearing is like, if you want to see what you value, look at your calendar and your bank account. Those will actually
Yes,
tell you what you're
this is
spending your
a
time
that's a
and
very
money
good
on,
point. This is a good point because
right?
I remember going to the bank frequently. Yeah, because I had TD Bank at the time, and I had a checking and savings accounts, and so I would ensure that I had plenty of money to go for food and drinks, and I had to make sure I had my tuition payments and stuff like that for my classes, and I made sure those are a okay all the time.
Resource management, yeah.
Definitely. So that was important for me.
Yeah, yeah. And like it seems like those two things, if you can manage like time and money, like those are like the two main like resources at humans' disposal if you really get down to it, right? So what do you spend your time on? Maybe energy is a third one. Like your energy, your
Yeah,
time.
that's correct. Yeah, energy is important too. Because if you have a lack of energy, that's not a good sign for you. It's a
Right.
positive
And
energy,
energy
and
is like
that's what
I think
helps
the
a lot.
true like it's I think it's the fundamental resource, right? Because if you don't have energy, you can't use time, and money is a function of used energy. Like we use our energy to either get money or we spend money so we don't have to use energy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good frame of reference. Yeah, that makes sense. You're right. That's a true statement. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that front. That was
So
good.
it's like,
That was good stuff.
yeah, so I'm starting the time management, but I think after that, the next one is the energy management. Energy is good, but it's like it's always something that can be worked on and improved, right? And it varies quite wildly depending on health and status and environment and age and whatnot.
Sounds like a plan. That's good stuff. So, how are your cats doing?
They're doing good. I just heard two of them. Dumples and Eggnog are always running around playing with each other. And Meatloaf, who's like just wants to get past them, is like, "Leave me alone! Don't chase me! I'm just here to get a drink of water, and you could leave me alone." Yep,
That's a great
yep.
action.
And I
That's pretty
just
good stuff.
got him two more window seats, so there's now three of them. Yeah, because they love the little they like these suction cup things. There's actually one right here. Hold on.
Okay.
See one of those.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. I like that.
And they really enjoy those.
Oh, that's pretty good. That helps a lot.
Yeah, and they just get to sit in the sun, stare at the window, look at the birds.
Yes, indeed.
All of them, you know, they'll rotate through the different ones, and some of them, like that one is Lita's, and she'll be up there. But sometimes Eggnog or Dumpling will be up there, and she'll try to get up there. She'll be like, "Oh, it's taken. I can't." And she'll like
That's epic. Times, good
have a bunch of
times.
fun of just watching them
The
interact. They're very entertaining,
Yeah, the interactions they make a big difference in their lives, don't they?
right? And their little personalities. It's truly like a little sitcom running on in my house, right? It's got my own like cat sitcom going on.
That's wonderful. That is a wonderful sign. I love that. It's very cool. I'm glad you got something to drink. That's important too. You didn't just
Yeah,
have to eat something.
and I appreciate you giving me time to have my nibble and drink. Yeah, so always
No problem.
I'm always forgetting to do that sometimes. You know, when I'm deep in the flow and the work and the stuff. There was actually last week on Sunday. I actually got into like a deep work session, and I was messing around with AI, right? And I ended up like getting so locked in that I just stayed up till like 2 a.m. and I just had to like occasionally take little breaks to go get food, satiate myself, and then go back in because I'm like, I just want more. I'm like, I've locked in. I finally like, I'm like figuring out how to get this to work, and I'm like, now I'm like trying to figure out how to use AI to take away all of the fiddly little default tasks that you have to do over and over again, all the tedious stuff, all of the annoying little grunt work that takes time, whilst preserving decision making, taste, and opinion, and leaving that to me. And it's like, if you ever have to make a decision, ask me a question, clarify what I want. I give it the initial context of, like, I have had this idea, help me flesh it out, instead of having it come up with ideas, having it produce content. I'm directing it, and it is an intern who does exactly what I tell it to do, and building out little systems so that I can produce the kind of work I want without doing all the fiddly little annoying tasks.
You don't want that issue. I get that.
And like Riverside is a perfect example of that, where when this is done, it'll transcribe it, it will then cut out all the spaces, it'll balance the audio, and it can even do some basic frame editing where it like switches back and forth from us, gives like a, this guy's talking, cut away to this, come back, do the double shot kind of stuff, just basic kind of things. And then I can go in there, do the stylistic edits, add taste and flavor and style, and oh, I like this, I don't like this, cut this, keep that, right kind of stuff. And then ship it directly to YouTube
Nice.
so that, you know, it takes out as much of the, before I'd have to sit there for like a half hour to an hour to just remove the spaces from a video in editing. And it was mind-numbing, dull work, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I hate this. Like, sure, it makes the video, but I don't want to have to do this,
That sounds like that's a good idea.
right?
Yes, indeed.
And so Riverside has that built in, which is incredible. And it also has a system to self-select for shorts and content clips, so that when you have a podcast, which is a long, you upload the podcast, then you take little shorts from it that it recommends, and it actually gives you like, this one is like a high rating, this one's like mid, this one's low, but it gives you all these options, and then you can go in there and make further edits and then ship them as shorts that then point towards your long, which is the current prevailing YouTube system, right? To
I
get
see.
attention and people is to have shorts, because the shorts platform is humongous and gets views and things can pop off to ridiculous degrees, but it doesn't generate anything. You just then use that to point towards long, which then builds credibility, can point towards whatever community or offer next step, right? And then
Okay.
continue down this funnel, right?
Wow. Yeah, because I remember the first episode one of the things we talked about was YouTube, and we were talking about the different issues of shorts and not using shorts and things of that nature. So I remember, and now you're bringing it up again. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I actually made a short from our last one using Riverside and posted it.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, I could share that with you later. And I'll bet there'll be a good one that they make out of this one. And so I'll have to share that one with you when I post it. Because yeah, I'm gonna try and like as I record podcast episode, I'm just gonna like start doing more of that. You know, as I reach out to people and connect with people, record more podcast episodes, and then just auto ship them to YouTube with like I don't need to do too much fancy editing. I'm not like trying to go pro here at YouTube. I just need like
I didn't see that.
wheel to go, right?
Right.
And then have that filter towards the Skool and build that up and do the little shorts. And if I can make it so that like, every time I do that I produce the long and maybe like 3 to 5 shorts. And then over a week I can post the long and then schedule the 5 shorts and then boom, content's done for the week.
That sounds good. I like it. That's very interesting. It's definitely worth the wait. Sometimes you have to
Right.
go through the process.
So here's a question I've been asking people. In the work that you do, in the task flow and the production of content and stuff and just your output of things, what's the
Hmm.
fiddly, annoying task that you do over and over again but you hate?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's the transcribing. Yeah, because I every time I'm on Substack and do Substack live conversations, I've done about 4 or 5 of them so far. This transcribing is always an action that it's undertaken. The thing is, I don't have to do it myself. Substack does it for me.
Yeah, well, that's yeah, a handy tool like that, yeah. And there's lots of good transcribing tools nowadays. What do you then do with the transcription? Do you just post it
I just
as is?
leave it as is. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do with it because I'm not good at this kind of thing. So this is not the thing that I'm
Sure.
good at.
And like, sometimes it's just like messing with the system, trying it out and like seeing what works and what doesn't. And then like, I guess I'm not very familiar with how the system of Substack Live works. So you'd like just go live, you'd do like a recording. Is it just audio, video? Is it audio? Does it have video?
Yes, it has audio and video at the same time. Um, So what happens is you go you did you have two different options. You can either write an article or you can go live. And so you have one of two choices. And so when I write my poetry, I go to write article,
Hmm.
and then I start with the topic of my poem, and then I start writing the poems over time, and I do it over the course of like 5 minutes or so
Hmm.
because I regularly delve into my intuition to write poetry,
Hmm.
and I just go through it, and
Hmm.
I'm really make it happen. And so I did it over the course of 5 to 10 minutes, and then I post them on Substack, and then I also post them on Facebook as well to my friends on Facebook. And then afterwards, I go to Microsoft Word and I create a file name of my poem, and then I save them, and then I save a copy of it open to the Files app on my tablet. And so I have it there as well. Because I have a files folder that have all my poems. And I have my poems, and I have other things as well, like my degrees, my character strengths list, and my transcripts as well for community college and my bachelor's degree transcripts as well. So I have those things on my files tab as well, my files folder. And then afterwards, I go to, and I send them into my. I create a folder of. I have three separate folders of my poetry. One is transformation, a way of creating one's life anew, which is my first debut poetry book. And then I have that one. And then I have another one called Connection, Enjoying and Appreciating Life Fully. And that's my second poetry collection, my second poetry book. Then I have the third one that's in progress. It's called Phenomenal, Who One is Born to Be.
Mm,
That's going to be my third poetry book. I have about 29 poems so far, and I'm trying to get at least 30 to 40 to complete my trilogy. And that's what I've been doing lately, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays nowadays.
very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, and very nice
And so,
consistency. Yeah.
yeah, I've been very proactive on Substack. So I've also been, and then I share a copy of the folders on my phenomenal folder because it has my current poetries, my poems, and so I've been doing that as well. And then I also send an email to some people in my life. So I send it to my aunt in her email address so she can check and let her know I asked her to let me know her thoughts and opinions about my poetry when she's at work. She doesn't do it on the weekends, of course, because she does her own life and things of
Hmm.
that nature. So that's good for her. I do that on the week. I do that on the weekdays. And I also send it to my career mentor Anna. She loves hearing my poetry, so I send it every so often during the week as well. And I send it to a family friend Atta because he's an author
Mm.
and he loves my poetry too. So I ask him every so often to share my poetry as well. So he lets me know every so often. He's a very busy guy with his own life, so I hear from him every so often. And so he tells me thoughts and opinions about my new poems as well. And then I also share with him my therapist, Yasmin. She likes my poetry too. And so I share with her my poetry as well. And those are the things I actively do every week.
Very nice. I was curious. You said you had a mentor. What are you working on specifically with your mentor?
And it's my poetry books. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. She wants me to be actively doing this as well as my Substack as well. She wants me to grow my visibility too.
Mm.
And so I've been very focused and dedicated to writing my poetry and she knows and she's also I just recently talked to her in the letter sent her an email about my new poems of course and also about oh, my aunt is going to start editing my new books, my new poetry books, as well. So that's gonna be a process to undergo. I want to create a book. She just talked to me. We went to Michael's, the arts and crafts
Mhm.
store. There's one in Manassas, Virginia, here where I reside. And they didn't have anything specifically about what book covers. So what we're going to do is she's gonna plan and talk to the people that were her friends at work, her colleagues at work. She has one, and her name is Nia, and she's really good with things like this. And so my aunt Gennett, her name is Gennett. Yeah, so my aunt is going to talk to her colleague on from Monday when she goes to work and ask her if she knows of anybody who can work on book covers to
Mm.
create a poetry book. So this is what I'm trying to do now, right now.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
I can hardly wait, to be honest.
It's an
So
exciting time.
can create a poetry book and I have it in my own hands and in other
Right.
people's hands. That's going to be magnificent, you know?
Right. It's a very impressive accomplishment. Yeah. To like actually have made and to make three of them actually is very impressive.
Thank you so much. I wanted to create a trilogy, so this is my detail of action.
So what were the three parts of the trilogy? I remember the last one was
Trans
transformation. Yeah.
the transformation is a way of creating one's life anew.
Hmm.
That is the second one is connection, enjoying and appreciating life fully. And the third one is called phenomenal, being who one is born to be.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You can write them down if you're interested.
Yeah. And I liked the like sort of journey that takes someone on, right?
Yeah.
Just like the three different ideas of being.
Yes, they're themes.
Yeah.
They're thematic ventures.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I see the like story arc through it.
I'm glad you noticed. That
Yeah. Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yeah. 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 And
Yeah.
ending with like the who you are meant to be, kind of. You know.
Yeah, it's a unique. I think it's like a unique, in my humble opinion. I think it's very unique on purpose. I
Yeah.
really did this on purpose.
Yeah.
I created these ways of being in my own life in terms of what I wanted it to be about, and to the beauty and significance about them. And they relate to my own life, to my own livelihood, and the way I've lived my own life. And I want to connect with inspired readers to know what it's and to share within my life and legacy. And I want to create a legacy through my poetry books as well.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. Very interesting. Yeah, I'll be curious to
Thank you.
see those when they're.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I promise you'll be one of the to-do list. And my aunt taught me about creating a book cover for my poetry books and creating different chapters. So each poem will represent a chapter of my book, my poetry book. So I'm gonna have a lot. So I know my first one is about 75 poems. Just to let you know, I can tell you that for a fact because I know how many poems there are, as you know about. My second one is about 30 poems, and I'm in process with my third one poetry book, so it's in process right now. So I'll let you know how many there are once it's
Very
completed.
nice. Yeah, very intriguing.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I always enjoy these like character arc, and the idea of a character arc sort of seems to keep coming up for me.
Nice.
One of the projects that I'm actually gonna start spinning up in the next like quarter month or so is this like D&D style transformation program.
Oh, intriguing.
Yeah, because there's this guy I'm working with. He's got this big community, and he's very busy, but he likes this series called The Quasmere. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar. It's Brandon Sanderson is the author.
Oh, I've never heard of him before. Okay.
He's big, and he's got some gigantic fantasy epics and those kinds of things,
Okay.
and interconnected stories kind of stuff. He's got
Nice.
two main long book series, and they're technically in the same universe, but they're on different planets.
Wow, different planets. I see.
Right, so it's an
It reminds me.
actual
It reminds me of what
universe.
Stan Lee does.
Yeah, it's on that scale, yeah.
I see what you're saying. You know
Yeah.
Stan Lee, obviously, right?
But he's got a D&D style game set in his universe.
See now, that's interesting.
And so
I
this
love
guy
that. That's pretty cool.
wants to play in this kind of game but doesn't know anyone to do it. And I have read all of the books and have run large group D&D games before.
That's phenomenal. I
And he's
love
like,
that.
"Hey, could you run one of these for me?" And I'm like, "Sure. Yeah, I could do that."
Yeah,
And it's if it works, it might turn into something pretty big. Whereas like might be a
that
whole
sounds
community
very promising. Do
around
it.
it,
Nothing to it but to do it. Go for
right?
it.
And the idea is that, when people play D&D, they build a character, which most of the
Right.
time is just a better version of themselves that they want to be,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
And by the
Nice.
end of the campaign, hopefully their character has gone from where they are, which is not that really, but they want to be that, and grown through challenge and adversity
Right.
to become this new person, battle tested and forged through adversity, trials, errors, triumphs, right?
Absolutely.
And achieves then becoming the hero of their story, right?
Yes, indeed. It
And so,
reminds me of the RPGs that I play on Sony PlayStation.
mhm,
I've done that many times, so I've
yeah,
I've had different adventure arcs and things of that nature in my own life too.
right. And in my own journey, I found that that was the place where I forged my communication skills, my, um, you know, practicing being authentic and weird, and the all these different skills you practice inside D&D, and you're playing a game and you don't realize it's happening to you, and then you look back and you're like, oh look, I actually have all these skills. Wow. But it's like a safe, comfortable environment to practice and fail, and like you can like if you're not comfortable talking to people, you can go into a D&D game, pretend to be the face of, or be the face of the party, and like have to go up and talk to people and be like, all right, we need this to happen. You can haggle with the shopkeep. You can ask for a discount on this thing that you're trying to buy, which you would never do in real life, but you can do in this game. You can
Right.
practice and get more comfortable with it. So I'm very excited about
That's
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So how long have you been doing this?
So playing D&D,
Right.
a long time. First started playing, either middle school or high school when a friend of mine ran a game
Nice.
and I played in it, and it was fun.
Okay.
I've always played like wizards and magic users,
Nice.
like the weak, squishy things, but has access to the big powers.
Right.
And then I was in a D&D club in college and played
Cool.
that all through college. That was fun. And then after college, started running my own games.
Nice.
And then I've run a lot of little games and like 1, 2, 3 major, at least a year-long campaigns. 2 of them completed. One of them
Nice.
had a satisfying ending,
I see.
which is
It
almost
makes a big
unheard
difference.
of D&D campaigns. So yeah, and the third one actually had the most common thing happen to it. It fell apart due to scheduling. The true
Really
enemy of D&D
scheduling.
is scheduling.
That's good to know.
Is
I
getting
didn't know that.
several adults together to play 2 to 3 hours of a game a week or even a monthly is very difficult.
Oh,
But if you can do that, that's the hardest part of playing D&D. It's generally getting a group together and playing and scheduling it.
okay.
But the first game that I ran, I didn't know where I was going to go with it. I just sort of like started and was like, okay, we're going to just see where this takes us, and eventually an end will happen. I'm sure we'll find a place to end. And I did eventually find a place to end, but it didn't feel satisfying. There were like loose ends. It was just,
Right.
yeah, stuff has been resolved, but it's like, what was the point?
I see what you mean.
Right? And then the next campaign, I was like, okay, what was the problem with that one? I didn't stick the landing. The landing wasn't good. I didn't like the landing.
Mhm.
I was like, I built a campaign from the ground up, being like, how do I end a campaign well? I
Right.
started with that question.
Yes, indeed.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to go basic here, right? I want the end of this campaign to be the heroes save the world.
I like that. There's a simple ending right there. I like it.
Then I was like, okay, why is the world in danger?
Good
And I was
question.
also in a world building phase at the time, so I was like, I wanted to world build a universe from scratch. Actually, by
Wow.
Brandon Sanderson's world building style, oddly enough.
Right,
Is the author I'm going to do this game in. At the time, it was for D&D, but
right.
just adopted his world building practices, which, in a nutshell, are take Earth and change 5 major variables. That's it. You can even do less than that, and you will have
Right.
an unrecognizably different world.
Wow.
So what I did, one, I changed the solar system. I made it a star and the planet in a almost tidally locked orbit. Also, I went to college for physics, so I like
Oh, that's epic. I love that.
studied this
Wow.
stuff. But it's a
What,
planet
what
where
kind of physics were you interested in?
general physics. My goal was to be like, how does the universe work? And I came out of
I
it
see.
with less of an understanding of the universe.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It was good. I enjoyed my
good.
time. It was good. I still keep up with physics, but when you get to quantum mechanics, you're like, we don't know what the hell is going on. We have no clue.
I see your point. I was curious because Neil deGrasse Tyson's an actual physicist, so I was just curious because you were talking about physics.
Yeah. I love physics. I could go deep into physics. So maybe
That's
another podcast.
interesting.
Yeah, we'll save that.
Yeah, I'll do that another podcast. We'll do another podcast about physics. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love to hear about that. I
Yeah.
took a physics class in college in high school. I remember that. It was pretty good. I enjoyed that too.
Yeah, but so the for this world that I made, it was a
Right.
single star and a single planet. So nothing else in the solar system. Nothing else actually in the universe, because I decided it was a tiny pocket dimension for reasons that I'll explain later. So you have the star,
Interesting.
you have the planet that has everyone on it. It's just Earth,
Right.
but it's tidally locked, so it only rotates once per year.
Wow, once a
Right?
year.
So it slowly rotates as it goes around, but only once.
That's interesting.
I then made it an ocean planet with 2 land masses on the poles that were
Oh,
habitable. So people lived on the poles,
right, north and south.
right? And then at the sun side that was facing the sun, there was a
Okay.
perpetual hurricane powered by the sun, because the middle strip is all ocean, right? And so it's just this giant hot spot in the middle of the ocean that creates this
Jupiter.
cyclone spot. Yeah, exactly that. On the backside is the ice sheet, right? It's a sheet of ice that slowly migrates its way around the planet, as does the cyclone once a year, right?
That's phenomenal. I love this. This is
Right?
interesting.
And then there's
This is so
trade that
cool.
happens from these two major cities because they hop on the current of the hurricane and ride it from one continent to the other, or vice versa, depending on which side you need to go on. And they use them
Yes,
as highways to jump from one side to the other,
that is beautiful. I'm gonna give you a round of applause for this. This is beautiful.
right? And we're
I
at
love
like,
it.
this is step 2 of changing the world.
I see what you're saying now.
I
Yeah.
then made the dominant race of people cephalopod creatures
Cephalopod. Wow. Okay.
because I like cephalopods, and it was an ocean world. I
Ocean
then
world.
connected the magic to the sand and the shells of the fauna. So the squids have shells, and they're magically inclined because the magic comes from the sun, infuses the sand, and the animals take the sand and use it as the magical fuel throughout the world. And anytime there's a
Nice.
magical element from D&D, some sort of shell component is used as the magical fuel source, right?
Wow.
Just adds
Okay.
flavoring. And then I think what was the final thing I changed? Was
I don't know yet.
I made it slightly bigger, or I changed the planet such that I could have animals and megafauna, mega creatures, creatures that were humongous in size, living in the oceans.
Wow.
So
Massive.
like that were like the size of ships, like bigger than ships kind of stuff as like major entities. And then the plot was this pocket dimension is actually a prison for an immortal lich.
TV, an immortal lich.
Yes. And
Wow.
to escape by destroying the world and collapsing the pocket dimension and escaping into the greater universe. But everyone else
Well,
on this
that's
planet just assumes this is all they've ever known. This is it. We just live here because it works, right? But
okay.
and then the players on the very first mission accidentally get a hold of the lich's phylactery, and so now they're caught up in the thing, and then we're off to the races,
Wow. That's a lot.
right? By the end
There's
of it,
definite pressure involved in this.
they had taken the place of the 4 guardians of the seals and defeated the lich in a grand finale battle kind of thing, and got to
Wow.
be the protectors of the universe or of that world for at the end of their stories.
That's epic. Thank you for sharing. That's so cool.
Yeah, very proud of that one.
I'm not surprised at all. You have to be proud of something you created like that. That's stupendous. I respect that so much.
Yeah, and I think it's one of my favorite parts of it is it's a collaborative storytelling system.
Hmm?
And that's what I did with my third campaign, where with a normal campaign you have like 4 players and yourself, and you go through this game session by session, like week by week, and it's the same
Right.
people through the same story, start to finish.
Right.
I wanted to do one where it was a pool of people, and then whoever was available played, but they're all in the same world, and all of their
Nice.
stuff impacts each other. And I ended up creating it sort of episodic, like how it's a TV series where
Hmm.
as a season goes on, like things change in the overall world and like background details and story elements, right? But in a
Plot thickens.
but in an episode, you have a contained story that happens.
I see what you're
And that's a
saying. I've
session,
seen that before.
right?
I get it.
And so I had this like they were exploring this like jungle to try and figure out why magic was going weird. And there was a guild that had an outpost at the edge of civilization, and you were to go into the jungle and explore and figure stuff out, right?
Hmm.
It was a west marches style. You march west to figure stuff out. And there's this town. It's called Safeton. It's where you are safe, and it is the hub of where everyone starts and ends the session. So that at the beginning of every session, we start here. We can pull whoever needs to show up here. You go off into the adventure. You come back, and then at the next episode, we do it over and over again. That
Nice.
one I had so much fun with because I made it so much more player driven. Where I was like,
Love that.
elements like I had a handful of factions, a couple of magical MacGuffins, and an idea of where this story might go. And then I was like, okay, you guys go in there, and I'm just gonna follow where you guys generally want to go. We ended up with like one of them allying with a immortal automaton, another guy allying with the dragon faction, and another guy accidentally creating a chaos god and becoming a chaos acolyte.
Oh my god.
You can't write this shit.
You can't make this stuff up, right? That's pretty much it. I can't believe it. It's hard to believe, but it's definitely the plot
It's
thickens.
so
The
much better
plot
than
thickens to so much happening.
yeah, and
So
I'm
much happening, and that's beautiful.
right. And I'm
That's
like,
pretty cool.
I can't read. I can't find books that are this good. I'm like, it's the closest fiction gets to reality because it's just humans interacting.
Yes, it is. They're interacting with each other and making things occur as you speak, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Thank you for sharing. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. So that's I'm excited to do more of that. I actually ran a test game with my brothers last week, and that was lots of
Cool.
fun. We got to test out the system and work out some of the kinks before I start like inviting some of the people I've met online to do it. So,
Nice. So you still have those people in your life right now nowadays.
yeah, yeah, and I the campaign I just ran it fell apart due to a lot of scheduling things and like life getting in the way of stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, I could always go back and pick up another campaign and start up another game night kind of thing. And they still run some sessions and games, and I like hearing about other people's games and campaigns and the adventures they get up to.
See, that'll be a lot of fun to hear about what other people are doing as well.
Right,
That's gonna be a tall order to enjoy it. Go for it.
right,
I highly recommend it.
yeah. And there seems like a lot of interest in it. People seem interested, so I was like, yeah. And I've gotten good reviews from when I run games. People enjoy the games I run.
That's wonderful to hear. I was just an observer. I would be enjoying them myself too. I'm not as good at just anything involving Dungeons and Dragons, but I did have a friend who was into it, and so that's how I became an observer. I
Hmm.
did it one time, and I really enjoyed it actually. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I'll keep you in mind because one of the things I try to make sure that the games I run are new player friendly and friendly to people who have no idea. Specifically, the one that I'm developing is the Cosmere. I want to make it friendly for people who have no idea what the Cosmere is and have never played a role playing game before.
I get it.
And admittedly, those are my favorite players
Really,
because
that's good
they
to
are
know.
not constrained by the rules.
This is a good point. Yeah, I'm not constrained either. That's a good idea.
Like I've played with a
I
lot of
see what you're
D&D
saying.
veterans, and actually one of my grievances is so there's different styles of running games, right? This is a buddy of mine.
I see.
We are perfect examples of this. I think we run exactly opposite styles of game. He runs games by the book, follow the rules, follow the adventure. This is the way that it goes. This is the plan. This is the structure. This is where we're gonna go. I'm like, I got 5 bullet points and a list of names. Let's go. You said that there's a dragon behind this door. It's better than what I had. It's now a dragon. You want to try and, concoct a random magical item out of, the random accoutrements you've got here? Sure, I'll let you try. You might blow yourself up, but yeah, well, why not? And actually, I deliberately built my campaign around chaos because I enjoy throwing random things into my campaign and seeing what happens.
Ah,
So the actually
that's
like
interesting.
conceit of the game was magic is breaking and wild magic is getting more common and more frequent. And the powers that be don't like that because they like their magic to work consistently and the way that they expect it to, and it's starting to not do that. Go figure out why.
Wow,
And so I
that's
just got the
amazing.
opportunity to be like, okay, you're now in the heart of it, so it's even worse here.
Yes,
All the
indeed.
wild magic rolls, and I got a custom wild magic table with like 300 options on it, and it's like
Ah,
all kinds of hijinks occurred because of that.
that's
That's actually where the
intriguing.
chaos god came from.
Well, now I see. I'm learning more as it goes. It's amazing. I didn't expect all this to be happening, but as soon as you started telling me about it, I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
Right,
Thank you for sharing. This is amazing.
right. I love those stories, and I'm like, I've ran hundreds of games now, so I've got like hundreds of D&D stories, and every one is like, you know, it's stories, man. I just like nothing like a good story. It's just chock full of
Yes. Yeah, storytelling and different arcs make a big difference in your life when you're actually going through the motions and learning from them and creating them. Actually, it makes a monumental difference in your life, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I've been very interested in storytelling. It's always fascinated me.
Nice. That's very good. Really good.
Yeah, I once tried to understand what the absolute fundamentals of a story are.
Nice.
I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but there are like three, you need exactly three things to make a story.
All right.
The setting,
Setting is important.
the now, what is normal, what is the right now situation. Then what is the change, complication, problem, or difference? Something happens.
The
Something
story.
changes. There's a challenge, a problem, an adversity, something.
Trial.
And then a resolution. Yeah. And then a resolution. What's the new normal? What's the aftermath? What's the resolution conclusion? And it can be, positive or negative, right?
That's right.
But there's just a new normal.
Wow.
But it's just baseline normal, change, new normal.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's very nice. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And one of the practices I did is this was back when I had a Twitter. I don't Twitter anymore, but I just did it because it was like a constrained box of text, and I was like, okay, for like a month, I pulled up a random word generator, had 3 words, and forced myself to make a story inside of a tweet using the 3 random words.
Wow.
It was an excellent practice to learn, like, really strengthen, like, what is the fundamental of a story in as small a bite as possible.
That's good. That's very good. That's wonderful, actually.
Wow.
So can I ask you a question about the art behind you?
Sure.
Why are there octopus? What are they about?
So, these are cephalopods in general, and it's simply because they are my favorite group of animals.
I know now.
Yeah, and that's why I added them to my D&D campaign. Is like I've always been fascinated. It's the family of squids, octopi, all of those tentacle creatures, and cuttlefish. But they're there's lots of fascinating things about them. But they are one of the oldest species still around because they showed up during the Cambrian explosion, just like the
the
first
Cambrian period, right?
right as animals showed up, and they've been around since then. And they are the closest thing we've found to what an alien intelligence would be like.
Really? Wow, I
Because
didn't know
they're
that.
intelligent, but it is in such a different way from how we are that it's practically alien.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. That's surprising. I didn't know that.
There's actually my favorite book that goes into this. There's a sci-fi series called The Children of Time. Highly recommended, very good. But it doesn't get to cephalopods until the second book. The first book is about spiders.
Spiders are crucial.
And so here's the twist for this book. In this book, their premise is that a human goes out to a planet, terraforms it, and plans to play God by planting some monkeys on a planet, giving them a virus to uplift their intelligence and be in orbit around them and control their evolution from the ground up, right? It doesn't work. The monkeys don't make it. But the virus does, and it uplifts spiders.
Gosh, that's too much.
The
It's hard
spiders
to
become
believe,
intelligent. And by the end of the book, I'm rooting for the spiders and not the humans.
Really? Spiders and not the humans? Wow. Okay, that is something else.
But in the second book, which is my favorite, they meet a group of uplifted octopi, cephalopods, that have become spacefaring because this book is like high-tech sci-fi, and so the spiders get uplifted. They eventually make it into space. So it's like, how would spiders travel in space? Wild, crazy. They make a computer. By the way, their computer is just an ant colony.
Ant colony
programmed through pheromones and manipulation and and by all my accounts, it's theoretically that's possible to do. It's fascinating. I highly recommend this book series. Fascinating stuff.
All right.
But the cephalopods, they get uplifted. They have spaceships that are full of water, so they're just massive. And B, they communicate through the colors and photoreceptors and flashes on their skin. And also, the way that an octopus thinks is it has its brain is actually, if you look here, it's this spot right here, this ring right at the base of the tentacles.
Okay.
And it's a ring around where its mouth is. And each
Smell.
tentacle, yeah, so if you have the mouth and then all of the little tentacles that splay off right here. This ring
Okay.
houses its brain. And its brain connects to each of its arms. And each of its arms kind of has its own little brain that
Brain.
then like talks to the other ones and they like form a consensus of what to do,
Wow.
but they're like somewhat independent of each other. And so like the octopi civilization is all about like getting consensus and people will like change their mind on the
No
drop
fly.
of a hat and be like one moment I'm here and then it's just whatever the collective decides is what they're doing then. And if the collective moves, it's like, all right, we're doing this now. And they don't understand the concept of lying because they all of their emotions and thoughts are on their skin and they can't hide it.
Wow. I didn't know
Like
that.
it's just a so alien way of thinking. And like that's how they are. They're just slightly less intelligent than.
Wow, that is fascinating, actually. I had no idea.
Yeah. So
Yeah, what about their hearts? I'm curious about that.
yeah, it depends on the species. That one is it depends. Some of them have multiple hearts,
That's what I thought.
and their
I've heard of that
circulatory
before.
systems are weird.
That's what I
They
thought.
also have
I was
like
thinking
I think
about that before.
blue blood, I believe. They use a different oxygen carrying compound. I think it's copper based.
Okay.
Instead, ours is iron based,
Okay. And
which is why
iron is very
ours is
important for
red.
the bloodstream. I know. I was
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Thank you for saying that.
yeah. So that's
That was fascinating information. Thank you for sharing that.
right.
That was really good.
But it's one of
That
those
was
little.
really
One of the reasons I have it up there is exactly that. Is like, oh yeah, yeah, cephalopods. Yeah, I'll tell you all about it. That's great.
I see. It's so fascinating to you. I get it now. That's really good.
Yeah. Well, I do have to jump in about 5 minutes, but this has been a grand little conversation.
That's really nice. Thank you for sharing. This is awesome truth and perspective. We had a great on time. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, always fun to chat. So I'll end our recording there and